Hello, welcome to a video about Dark Armor, Armor and Tools. We're going to go through Dark Tools and Armor, Ender Tools and Armor, and also the Stellar Tools and Armor, which is added by the Endergy expansion. So to get started, we're going to look at the basic fundamentals that you're going to need to know. So let's put down our crafting table. We've got paper and we've got ink sac. That's going to make black paper. So if we then do it in an eye shape here, we're going to see we can get this, which is the dark paper anvil. So this is the first anvil that you're going to want, and if you go into, you can see we can open it up, and you can see we've got this interface here, no upgradable item equipped. Okay, so the bedrock for all these upgrades is this, the blank dark steel upgrade, and that's made with dark iron bars, clay and string. Now from here, these are the important ones we need to make. We need to make micro anvil, mini anvil and pocket anvil. And what this means is that instead of using an anvil, eventually we'll be able to do all the upgrades and changing the upgrades actually while we're out and about. So we'll never actually need to place down an anvil. It does also have anvil functionality as well. So you can see that when we look at the paper anvil, we do have this. Now with a paper anvil, we can only do about 3 regular anvil operations before the paper anvil will break. So it is really a very basic tier anvil. So if we look at these 5 upgrades that I put up here, you can see that if we look at the crafting recipes for them, in general we need, so for instance for the night vision one, we're going to need a potion of night vision. We need wool for the padding, a note block for the sound locator, for the flippers we need a lily pad, and for the glider we need glider wings, which is a combination of glider wings and dark steel ingots, which is dark steel and leather. Okay, so all these items are for armor pieces, so I've gone ahead and put them on here. And you can see that there's various upgrades that are available, and you'll notice that the possible upgrades that are available are ones that we've just spoken about, quite a few of them. The one probe, at this point I'd just like to mention that the one probe has some functionality where you can incorporate that into a helmet. There's also forestry functionality, which gives you apiarist clothing, as well as the ability naturalist eye, which gives you the ability to see pollinated leaves during tree breeding. And there's also some Thorncraft cross-mod compatibility, which gives you Thaumaturge's robes and also goggles of revealing, which I believe you can double up for double discounts for your Thorncraft crafts. So we'd like to use this to upgrade night vision on the dark helm. So how are we going to do that? Well, what I can do is if I right click, it says 4 levels needed to activate this upgrade. One simple way to do it is to give myself 4 levels, and then we right click and you'll see the upgrade will be activated. It now appears the same as this activated one up here. Okay, so then to apply, if we go to our dark paper anvil, you'll see it will say no upgradable item equipped. So we equip our helm now. Now we open the paper anvil, and you'll see there is now a slot for the helmet. If I then shift, I can then shift click. You can see that the dark steel upgrade for night vision is already there. So I can put it in like that. Okay, if we throw the dark helmet on the floor there, and I shift right click, it will say no upgradable dark steel items equipped. If I pick up the helmet, it will still say the same. Equip the helmet. Now I shift right click. I'll then be able to access the inventory. And if I shift click, I can shift it in there. And you'll notice that once I shift clicked it in there, it can't be removed. Okay, let's have a look in the anvil now. And here in the anvil, I can remove it. So now if I want the night vision effect and it's night time, I can just press the hotkey and I can toggle the night vision off and on. Okay, so we've seen that I can insert the night vision upgrade into the helmet, but I'm actually unable to remove it. So the answer to that comes in the form of this, the micro anvil. So once we activate the micro anvil, I'll now be able to put that into the helmet. So we'll shift right click and we're going to put this into the helmet. There is a hotkey to access the upgrade menu. So you can see now when we go into the upgrade inventory here of the helmet, we can remove what we like, but if we take out the micro anvil and go back in, it is now unable to be removed. Okay, so let's try to do that again. We're going to do it a slightly different way this time. So we have now the padding upgrade, which is muffles nearby sounds. There's also a helmet upgrade. Okay, so what we're going to do this time is we're going to take our padding upgrade and we're going to put it into this tank full of liquid XP. And you'll notice that this will take exactly the amount of experience. So just a note about the experience that it's taken. It says 4 levels. I think that equates to 800 experience points. So as you may know, as you get more levels in Minecraft, it goes up much slower. but there is actually a finite number which is called experience points. And by putting it in the tank here, it's always going to take exactly the amount of points. Otherwise, for instance, you could go from level 20 to level 16 or something like that, and you would end up using too many experience points. So there are two options. One is to use something which will store your experience, so you only have like a tome of knowledge, for instance. So you'll always be on 4 levels and go down to 0, 8 levels go down to 0. Or you can use the tank from Endergy, which is the preferred method, and that will take away exactly the amount of experience required for each craft. Okay, so then we're going to press the hotkey again and we can see our helmet. We've got our micro anvil in, so we'll be able to put that in over there with padding. And while we're here, we may as well carry on. So we also have the sound locator as well. So we'll put that one in here. Open up the upgrade system. And there it goes, the sound locator. Okay, so let's carry on and move on to now that we've got the flippers. So these are going to be applied to the boots. Okay, so we've activated them. If we shift right click, we'll see we'll be able to access the boots and we can put our flippers in. And here you'll notice that the flippers, even though we've still got insert and extract on the helmet, so the boots are still insert only. So we can of course insert and extract from using the paper anvil, but there is an additional upgrade. We can take a look at the flippers effect here. You can see we go much faster in water. For this we're going to need another upgrade, which is the second anvil upgrade, which is the mini anvil. Okay, we're going to put this one into, we'll just put it into the helmet slot as well. And now when we go into the boot slot, we'll press the key. So now when we go into the boot slot, you'll see we'll now be able to remove this. So essentially we only need to place the mini anvil into one of the items that we've got here, and then we'll be able to add and remove all of the items. But you'll notice there is one third slot, and that's the pocket anvil, and that gives you even more functionality, because this obviously has the functionality of a regular anvil, because it is an anvil, but we can actually get all the functionality of the regular anvil on top of the insert and extract functions on the upgrade system. Okay, so once we put the final upgrade into the pocket anvil, you'll see we now have complete access to everything, right? Okay, so the final thing I haven't mentioned is this slot here. It says no upgradable item equipped. So say we wanted to add an enchantment to the chest plate, but we didn't want to equip it first. And the way we would do that then is we would just select it on the hotbar, go into the menu, and you'll see it's now here, so it's not equipped. We can put our glider in there, and then we can equip the chest plate, and now you'll see it has glider on it. So just to finalise what we said here, we've got pocket anvil, night vision padding and sound locator on here. We have a glider on the chest plate, nothing on the leggings so far, and flippers on the boots. We can activate the glider, and you can see it will give us a nice glide down into the, and then if we simply turn it off, we'll then go back to the ground. So for instance, here we've got the staff of levity, and if we make sure we've got our glider active, we can then disable the staff of levity. It provides an anti-gravity effect, levitation effect similar to a shulker, and then we can just glide down pretty easily. So there's different ways of combining, and I'll show a couple more later on in a minute. Now with Endergy we have this, which is the empowerment system. This is a really cool system, and why you actually want to use Endergy tools and armor, because it lets you, by default, each empowered upgrade will give you cool functionality on either your armor piece or your weapon. So for empowered, we just need to look at the recipe. We need a vibrant crystal, just vibrant alloys, and empowered 2 requires basic capacitor, 3 is the double layer, 4 is the octadic, and the 5, which is more of an Endergy thing, is the tormented Enderman head. Okay, so what the empowered does, it does give by default some cool effects. So helmet is just better protection, same with the chest plate and the leggings. Boots, full damage negated when powered. The shield will damage, there will be different levels of damage absorbed by the power. The empowered effect on the Ender is Enderman can't teleport once hit, extra damage and speed. 20 plus 2 efficiency when powered for a pickaxe, plus 50 efficiency for breaking obsidian. And that is just a result of the of the empowered effect. It's none of these other effects that you're seeing, it's just the empowered effect. So once you empower these items, especially the tools, and the boots obviously very useful for the fall damage, you'll actually get an additional effect without putting it on any of these other upgrades, which we'll talk about as well. More efficiency on the axe when it's powered. The bow has a similar thing to the shield in that it absorbs the damage. The efficiency of the shears is higher. The crook will harvest more. The hoe will do, if you're, I guess if you're doing maybe some sort of thorny crop. So the empowered upgrades are cool because they give you certain extra abilities. Full damage, breaking obsidian faster, reduction in damage taken, various different things. But they also act as a stepping stone for other really, really cool upgrades. And I just want to make another little reference about the differences between, we're going to look at the chest plate here to try and compare it to the various different tiers. Durability 560, the power is 1 million micro infinities. So here we have a durability of 800, 2.5 million micro infinities. Here we have a durability of 1200, 2.5 million micro infinities. The other thing to notice as well is that the empowered level only goes up to number 4 on dark armor, but you can get that 5th empowered level on Ender and of course the stellar armor, which is better in every way. Keep in mind if you do want to get these stellar items, they are pretty costly. So you can see to get this stellar alloy, which is used in making it, we're going to need to have a nether star, melodic alloy, which is an alloy of popped chorus, and end steel. And steel is an alloy of end steel, dark steel, and obsidian. So it's a little bit easier to get the Ender armor because you just need the end steel. You also need a guardian diode, which requires prismarine. Okay, so that's pretty cool, right? We've looked at everything that we can do and how to upgrade everything. There are some dependencies. So here I've got the entire set of stellar armor, and we put everything in here. So you'll see there's a lot of things we've already seen, but a couple we haven't. So inventory. So for instance, depends on empowered. You'll notice these things. Depends on empowered, the jump. If you want the step assist, that depends on empowered and jump. So it's just a case of putting the upgrades in the right order. But this is quite a cool system though, the inventory system. What this means is that it allows you to have loads of backpacks. So if we press the inventory key, you'll see, look at all this space we've got for stuff. Now it's different for each of the different items. For some reason, helmets have only got one column there, but that's a lot of slots. That's 54. So also we have the jump 3, and the jump effect lets you have 2. So you can see if you have the jump with the glider, it gives you like a really interesting way of doing things. Let's turn the glider off actually. You can see it's just 1, 2, 3. So 1, 2. So we go 1, 2, 3. So you can get a little bit higher. 1, 2. So you can easily jump over this, for instance. And obviously the speed effect's nice. We've got step assist as well. Another thing you may want to do as well, which isn't actually... Now you'll notice that now you'll see actually there is one spot missing for the elytra, and that's because the glider and the elytra cannot be used at the same time. So if I wanted to have the elytra instead there, I would have to remove the glider, and then we could put the elytra in there. But you'll see if I try and put it in. Another thing also as well to mention is if in this situation we may want to use the glider at some point, and we may want to use the elytra at some point. So what we can do is we can put our glider here, and that will just give it safekeeping. So this is just a storage spot for any of the, and I believe even if we have, so for instance say we have some empowered 5s, we just want to keep in the storage for our other items, we can put them in there. We can also do, for instance, we're in the chest plate slot, but if we had a spare flippers, we can store the flippers there in the storage. So it doesn't have to be specifically for the item in question here. So say we have a staff of traveling, and you notice it's the same key, by the way. And you see now we can use the elytra functionality. Go up a bit. Let's try not to get lost there. All right. This is an interesting one. We have the solar upgrades. So these will actually generate power. So obviously each item is powered. And you can see the reason there, and you can see for instance here on the boots, We've just been using them, and you can see they're getting power from the solar. So the solar will provide power, not to the staff, but it will provide power to the other armor pieces. So essentially, even though you'll be able to charge your armor pieces, you won't be able to charge what's in your inventory. For that, you would need to, so we've got this staff of traveling, we would need to use the inventory charger for that. And now you can see we can get some energy back in our staff of traveling. So with the shears, you can see we've got this upgrade called Direct, and can be applied to the weapons and tools, and is dependent on empowered. Teleports things directly into the inventory. The shears multiple blocks sheep when empowered. So you can see, let's take a look at the shears here. So you can see directly into the inventory. Really, really quick to do that as well. We'll go for an axe now, so we can take a stellar axe. So you can see we've got direct, empowered, and fork. So let's have a look and see how we get on with these trees. So it really is, I mean, it is incredibly fast how quickly it removes these. The other thing fork will do is, you see we've got, like, for instance, quite a dense forest. Normally it would just get rid of this one tree, but say we do one right in the middle here. The whole thing in a huge area is just gone. So what it will do is it will just do things really, really quite substantial removals instantly. So the hoe is only for use in a farming station, you can see, and can be empowered up to 4. Same as with the other dark equipment. Okay, now the pickaxe, this has got quite a lot of stuff on it, so let's talk about the pickaxe quickly. So carpeting, depth, so direct we've seen, empower we've seen. So you can see there really is a huge amount of stuff that we can do with the pickaxe. We'll just take a look at it and just see how. Okay, the important thing to realize is what's happening is there's an explosive effect, but you also need to use depth, and depth directs the explosive force away from the player. If I didn't have depth, I would be taking damage from that. Now flattens into a carpet. That is an interesting, and this is what it means by flattens into a carpet. So you can see that what it will do, if we're digging down like this, we'll just do here. In general, it will mostly be giving a very, very flat surface at the bottom here, and it's also flat on the, so it provides a pretty flat area. So so essentially it doesn't get rid of ore veins. So travel gives it the staff of traveling effect. Explosive, spoon is like a shovel. Direct, everything goes into your inventory. Depth, you don't take damage from the depth, by the way, is dependent on explosive, I'm pretty sure. So that's probably the first one you want to go at the beginning to make sure you're not taking damage from the explosive effect. So incidentally, this is a really good capacitor. So this is probably the best capacitor you can make. It's just an FYI. And finally, I forgot to show you, this is the sort of sound locator effect here. You can see we get little things happening, and you can see this from range, and it will go through walls. But yeah, I think that will probably cover it for now. So, until my next video, thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you next time.